let's talk about something kind of wild. We're going to dive into an engine, a piece of metal, really, that was designed over 30 years ago. And yet, somehow, it's still considered one of the absolute greatest of all time. This is the story of the legendary Toyota 2JZ.
I mean, just think about that for a second. 30 years. That's a lifetime in the car world. We've got electric cars doing 0 to 60 in 2 seconds now. So what is it about this old-school engine that gives it this legendary status? Why do people still talk about it with so much respect? Well, that's what we're here to figure out.
Okay, so first up, an icon is born. To really get it, we've got to go back. Way back to the early 90s, a time that was, let's be honest, a golden age for Japanese performance cars.
So what is the 2JZ? On paper, it's pretty simple. It's a 3-liter inline-6 engine. That just means all 6 cylinders are lined up in a nice, neat row. And his most famous home, the car that made it a household name, was, of course, the one and only Toyota Supra MK4. That car became a legend for a reason, and a huge part of that reason was the beast living under the hood.
Now, right out of the box from the factory, the 2JZ was rated at 320 horsepower. And look, for the time, that was a solid number. Totally respectable. But here's the thing about that number. It was barely scratching the surface. It was just a hint of what this engine was really capable of.
All right, this is where it gets really fun. The 1,000-plus horsepower secret. We're about to find out how a bunch of tuners and gearheads unlock the absolute giant that was hiding inside this thing.
So you gotta ask, right? What was the secret sauce? I mean, lots of engines back then made decent power. What made the 2JZ so special that we're still talking about it 3 decades later?
It all boiled down to this. The engine was just built different. It had incredible strength and unmatched reliability because Toyota, well, they massively over-engineered it. The engine block was made of cast iron, and it was built so strong, so tough, that it was almost ridiculous for the 320 horsepower it was supposed to make.
And because it was built like a tank, tuners quickly realized they could throw a ridiculous amount of power at it. They started adding bigger turbos, cranking up the boost, and forcing more air and fuel into it, and the engine just took it. Pushing it to over 1,000 horsepower, that's more than 3 times the factory rating, was not only possible, it was repeatable. The engine's core parts didn't even break a sweat.
This insane potential for power made the 2JZ an absolute rock star in the places where it mattered most. You started seeing it everywhere. Drag racing, street racing, you name it. If you were doing a serious high-performance build where you needed huge power without things blowing up, this was the engine you wanted. Period.
So for literally decades, the 2JZ was seen as untouchable, the king, the gold standard. But nothing stays on top forever. Now, a challenger appears. The legend is about to face a newcomer.
Yep, the story keeps going. Technology marches on, and in the world of high-performance engines, there's a new kid on the block that's starting to make some serious noise and turn some heads. And that challenger is the BMW B58. Now, what's fascinating is that it's also a 3.0-liter inline-6. And the biggest irony of all? It's the engine that Toyota themselves put in the brand new Supra. It's like the student is now trying to take on the master.
And that really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? The B58 is an incredible piece of modern engineering, no doubt. It's powerful, it's capable, and it's building its own army of fans. But does it have that same magic, that same raw, indestructible soul as the 2JZ? Could it really, finally, be the engine to replace a 30-year-old legend? Well, that's a debate that's raging right now.